Hey guys, Snowmasters Inflatables. What I have today is the 2007 Jimmy Ticket Booth Carousel. I've started polyurethaning it. As you can see, I've got a YEF 200 blowing this part up here. The base really needs painted, and then the bottom too. I've already painted the top. The top inflates pretty good. I've painted most of this ring. It's still a little loose. Then these are starting to inflate more. I might paint them next. I painted this one already. Yeah, there's still some spots. I'm gonna wait till it's dark and then come back. Yeah, you can see it's a pretty hard project to work on because just of how you have to climb up here to get everything. Looks like I missed some spots here. I'll get those. This one's inflating a little better. This one inflates pretty loose. The ticket booth, of course, is connected to the base, and the base is being inflated by the original TSD 80, which is basically just a YEF 80. There's a lot of dirt in there. I don't know how it got there. I've got the middle section right there tied off right now, just because the tube under there is really thin. So yeah, it's just tied off right now. Up inside, all that. I've painted all around the top. Painted the tree a little bit. Top, you can see it's doing pretty good. Yeah, this is the patch here I didn't do very well on. It's kind of coming apart. But yeah, next thing is gonna be painting the base. Right now I'm about 5'10", and I come to about here. So I'd say it's pretty much 9 foot. Now you can probably see a thin spot right there. Yeah. Like I said, I'll be out here when it's dark to get that. Yeah. Yeah, ticket booth. Like I said, that's not very good yet. I did paint this here, and I painted this. It's dry. Now, if you stand the ticket booth up, if you hold it up and let air get in it, you can see sand is kind of popping up there, and then you drop it, it will stay up. So it's getting better, but I really need to paint the bottom. The bottom's really thin, so until I do that, it's probably not gonna inflate too tightly up here, but it still inflates pretty good, considering that it was more like it went way back in there when I pushed on it earlier, but now it's pretty good. A lot of this under here is thin too, so I mean everywhere it's just got some thin spots on it. Hopefully I'll be able to find them all. Like I said, the best time to paint this is in the dark, because that way you can see the light shining through the thin spots. But basically what you do is, let me get my brush here. So you get your brush wet, polyurethane, and you pick the area you want to go, and then you just kind of work it in the fabric the best you can. There's a thin spot right here. You get some more polyurethane here. It will drip, but yeah, see that thin spot? You just paint right over it, and now it's gone. So, fortunately, this carousel has thin spots everywhere, like I said, but it's getting better. Pretty soon, it should start inflating on its own without the YEF 200 down there. But yeah, like I said, you just rub it in, work it in, and then after it dries a little bit, you go back and work it in more. Then you let it dry, of course. I left the 8-foot snowman out for 24 hours, maybe 25 hours to let it dry. But yeah, I'll probably leave this one out too for that long. Nothing's gonna happen to it. It's just gonna sit here and run. So, I mean, it shouldn't be too bad. The tree was kind of flat earlier, but it's started popping up now. I do have a string holding it up so I can paint it, but I don't know if it still needs it now. As you can see, if you look here, the air is starting to make its way into the little ring around the outside, which is good because that means that it can't go out in here. It's being stuck in here and forced through here. So yeah, if you just see any spots you missed, just get a little bit of polyurethane and work it in there. And you will not see effects right after you put it on, because up until you cover the very last thin spot, it's not really going to inflate, because all the air is going to be going out that thin spot that you're going to paint last. And then when you finally paint that final thin spot, then it'll pop up. That's what happened on that 8-foot snowman. The fabric around the fan was thin, and I had already gotten the whole snowman, but after I painted the part around the fan, it fully inflated, got really tight. So yeah, you'll not see results directly right after you paint it. It should be a little foggy, but you don't want it to be too clear. Like, you don't want to be able to see it like that. Of course, that's a thin spot there, but you don't want to really be able to see anything through it, because if your inflatable see-through, then you don't want to. You want to get the fabric nice and foggy with the polyurethane. Paint the whole thing. Of course, don't paint this part, because it can't leak. It's plastic or rubber or I don't know what it is, latex maybe, but yeah, just paint everywhere on it, and especially paint around the fan, because that's where all the air is coming from. And if you've got thin spots around the fan, all the air that's coming out of the fan is just going to go right down next to those thin spots and go out. So once you paint around the fan, it's really going to fill the rest of the inflatable up. So that's my tip for that, for the fan. Now, if you've got a carousel like this, you have to take the center out of it. I mean, that you almost have to, because there's almost no way that you can paint it if it's not out. This here is the only zipper. As you can see next to my hand, it's not too big, so it'd be almost impossible to paint every spot that the middle has. So you have to take the middle out. It's not too hard. You just loosen the zip ties down there, and then there's a big plate, a circular plate that screws in up there, and that the rotating mechanism is just sitting down there on the ground. That screws into that plate, and then it hangs up there, and then the characters, there's a little plate that screws onto the top of the characters up there, and it holds it onto this rotating. So you just take out those screws and zip ties on the bottom, and there's actually a big spring or a slinky that goes up the center of all rotating inflatables, even the rotating globes, rotating carousels, all that jiggity jive. So yeah, you've got to, I would leave that slinky in there because I took it out of this one, but I regret it because it's gonna be a bear to get back in now. Yeah, just paint wisely, make the most of what you have. What I do is I usually just get some of my brush, spread it around, and then I paint it on. I work it in after that, because then it's all around, and you can just work with it and get it in the spots you need. It's starting to get dark out a little bit, but yeah, I'll get back to you guys when this thing is pretty much finished. Yeah, polyurethane works miracles. It truly does. But you've got to make sure that you get all the thin spots. And you've got to remember that as soon as you paint it, nothing will happen. But when you've painted just about the whole thing, and it starts popping up, and then you paint the very last thin spot, that's when it really starts coming up and getting real tight and nicely inflating. So don't expect it to work perfect on the first time that you brush polyurethane on it, because it's not going to work right until you get all the thin spots. And like I said, do it at nighttime. Paint most of the spots you can get in the daytime, but then at nighttime you kind of go around and check, because that's when all the thin spots show themselves, because the light shines through the thin spots. So that's how you know where they're at, and you just put polyurethane over it, rub it in real good, get all the thin spots, and you kind of gotta move the camera around, or not the camera, your head. You've got to move your head around. You got to look, because see there, those thin spots can be anywhere. See, it's foggy right here, but it's kind of see-through right there. So you got to move around, and you've got to look for those thin spots, because see, that's how you find them. And then you paint them, and then yeah, like I said, it's not gonna work right away. You've got to get all the thin spots that there are. Now, the good thing about the thin spots, perhaps the only good thing, is that the polyurethane will seep through the fabric, and then it'll coat both sides. So that really gets it good. But if your inflatable isn't too worn out, then I don't know if it'll do it or not. All the inflatables that I've painted so far, which is this and the old Snowman, have been really worn out. So I think this one got heat damage, because if you look, the fabric is really good. It's really nice shape. I mean, if the sun was shining on it and beating down on it, it would shine, the fabric would, even before the polyurethane. And speaking of that, the polyurethane will leave a gloss, and it is white. Let me show you this. Polyurethane is white before you put it on, but back here, I already painted this. It dries, as you can see, it dries crystal clear, so you can't see any of the white. I mean, on some spots where you get a little too much, you can kind of see it. That's still drying though. But yeah, I hope this video was helpful. This is truly the way to fix an inflatable. I mean, this stuff has worked. I mean, this carousel, I never thought I would see it this good. Yeah, I just bought it for $60 off eBay because it was a pretty rare gem in my eyes. I mean, you don't see too many ticket booth carousels. This is the only 9-foot carousel that Jimmy made, but considering that the tree is 1.5 feet, just about, then I think this carousel is an 8.5-foot carousel to the tip of the carousel right there. So I'd say it's 8-foot carousel with 1.5-foot tree. But maybe 7.5 foot carousel. But yeah, I hope you guys found the video helpful. If you want me to make another video going into more detail about the polyurethane, then just let me know. And one more thing to note is that you do not want to do this in 100-degree weather, because one, the polyurethane will not like it. It won't cooperate, any of that. And then neither will you. You'll get way too hot to be out there, unless you're used to it, of course. Yeah, just do it on a nice 80-degree day, maybe 70-degree day. You can't do it below 50 degrees, though. That's what the can says. It has to be 55, higher than 55 and lower than 90. So just don't do it in blazing hot weather, and don't do it when it's humid either, because the humidity, water in the air, will it'll take ages for the stuff to dry. Might not work properly. So just do it on a nice, dry, warm day, and a little bit of a breeze blowing. Make sure you do it outside where it's nice and ventilated, and yeah, just make sure to work it in, get all the thin spots at night, and you should be good to go. So yeah, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you for watching. Bye, guys.